A complete global talent management strategy must include a focus on the actual acquisition steps, the efforts to recruit and attract high-quality job candidates, the procedures for assessing candidates' skills, competencies, and attitudes, programs for developing talent internally, and of course programs for rewarding and retaining the talent that is hired and developed. These are the subjects that we will address in this module, including a review of some of the new best practice approaches to acquisition, retention, and development that are being pursued by world-class organizations. First, let's focus on issues related to the attracting and recruiting of job candidates. In a period of labor shortages, organizations have to be extra innovative in their approaches to attracting quality job candidates. As with all areas of HR activities, this activity combines with other areas of organization focus, such as brand development and organization reputation, to build the organizational reputation so that potential job candidates will view your organization as a desirable place to work. In many ways, the appropriate advice here is to try everything that you can think of. Some of the approaches that are used by best practice firms include the following: holding your own recruiting open houses, or what are referred to in the United States as recruiting fairs. These are special events, either on your own facilities or in a hotel or convention facility, designed to attract large numbers of potential job candidates to a central location at a specific time. These can be done by yourself or in partnership with other firms, either firms in your geographic location or in your industry or related industries. This facilitates doing an initial screening of a large number of job candidates in a short period of time. Other best practice approaches include the use of web-based postings of job openings, both on your own organization's website, as well as regional, national, and multinational websites, and on services such as Monster.com and Job Global at www.itc-group.org. And for specially needed job categories where you experience major shortages, the use of signing bonuses, partially paid upon hire and maybe partially paid after some period of time, have been found to be valuable. This works very much like signing bonuses in athletics, and very much for the same reasons. Top athletes with talent and skills that are only held by a few people can command high salaries and can negotiate signing bonuses paid by employers, teams in this case, that strongly want their talents. When super talents are in short supply to business and government employers, they too can use such bonuses to attract the people they need. These bonuses are usually paid partially at the time of hire and partially later, after the candidate demonstrates a willingness to stay with the employer for a period of time, say 1 to 3 years. Some employers prorate the payment of the bonus over a period of time, and other employers simply pay the bonus at the time of hire. Back in the 1990s, during the dot-com boom, I remember being amazed by a billboard I passed here in San Diego when out jogging one morning. It had a picture of an expensive BMW sports car with a caption that said, this BMW can be yours for going to work for some employer. I don't remember the particular employer, but I certainly remember the signing bonus. When it takes an organization as much as a couple of years to fill senior positions, because of a shortage of people who have the skills being sought, spending significant money on special recruiting tactics and things like signing bonuses starts making more sense. Similar bonuses are also paid by best practice firms to existing employees who refer successful candidates. Again, partially paid upon hiring, and the rest after some period of time. Of course, once job candidates have been attracted, the organization needs to make sure that the particular candidate fits the needs of the work and organization. This assessment should include an assessment of skills and talents, experience, past behavior and performance, level of passion for high performance, values and fit to the organization's culture and vision, and attitudes about things like work in general, teamwork, diversity, global business, and the organization's vision. There are a number of tools for assessing job candidates, but two are most important: interviewing and reference checking. The use of interviews to assess job candidates is almost universal, since most hiring managers both think they must see the candidate face-to-face and that they can do a good job of evaluating the candidate when they do meet them. Research suggests that there are many problems with trying to assess job candidates through interviews. Most interviewing managers tend to make snap judgments and tend to focus primarily on negative attributes rather than on positive traits. But nevertheless, training those who interview job candidates, focusing on the gathering of only job-related information, and using what is called behavioral interviewing, that is, asking what-if questions focused on job requirements, such as, what did you do when you experienced some event related to the job? Or what would you do if you experienced some hypothetical situation related to the job? Will vastly improve the quality of assessments made in job interviews. In addition, interview results are enhanced by having candidates be assessed by multiple interviewers. Two additional factors are important to improving the reliability and validity of candidate assessment. Reference checking, always check on a candidate's prior work experience, and assessing the candidate's attitudes and values to develop a profile of whether the candidate is a good fit for the organization's culture. New hires should be assessed for both the specific job being filled as well as for their potential, for their abilities to learn and develop, so as to be able to step into future, as of now unknown, roles. Because of this, the firm must provide multiple and continual opportunities to learn, from in-house training to online courses to supportive seminars and schooling off the job. Once a person is hired, one of the most important activities that organizations undertake is a well-planned and executed orientation. Research shows that a good orientation can make the difference between starting out with a good attitude and high expectations and starting out with a negative impression of the firm and low expectations. The best orientations do more than provide a briefing on the organization's policies and on its compensation and benefits. A good orientation will basically teach the business, its products and services, its customers, its values, its culture. A good orientation will brief the new employee on the most important people to meet and what they do and what the business does. Indeed, it will introduce the new employee not only to his or her colleagues, but will also introduce him or her to some of those important people. And finally, a good orientation will help the new employee determine how he or she can bring his or her talents and passion to bear on the vision of the company. Once new employees at every level start working, the focus of a talent management program will transfer to the development of these employees. Best practice organizations will place a very high priority on growing, or developing their own talent internally. This is as important as recruiting new talent. The needs of the organization and of customers change, so the existing skill set and competencies of current employees has to change to meet these new demands. Employee development includes two objectives. The first of these is the development of current job skills. Best practice is to provide a significant number of hours of training every year for all employees, typically in the neighborhood of 40 hours a year. This comes out to something like an average of 1 hour a week or 3 to 4 hours a month. In addition, there needs to be developmental training for new roles and new demands. This typically includes leadership training and career management. Some of this will be done in classroom and online learning experiences. Some of it will be done through coaching and mentoring. And some of it will be done through developmental job assignments. Best practice firms realize that one learns how to be an effective manager on the job from job experience. Certain jobs have been shown to be especially effective in teaching the skills of leadership and management. These include startups, jumps in scope, international assignments, and cross-functional assignments. Learning from job experience to work most effectively obviously requires the individual to be confronted with new challenges in his or her work assignments. And it requires coaching to help to learn from the inevitable mistakes, allowance for those mistakes, and external monitoring so that the individual gets the necessary developmental opportunities. The last core responsibility of the human resource function that I want to address today that plays a special role in talent management involves the organization's reward system. There are a number of aspects of rewards that world-class and best practice organizations have found to be central to retaining today's top talent. First, the organization must make sure that top performers get paid top dollar. Just as top performers in sports and entertainment get paid top dollar, the individuals who receive the highest pay in today's organizations should be the top contributors to the organization's success. Secondly, employees should be provided with equity in the organization. That is, ownership of the firm as shares of stock. Today, employees expect stock options or stock purchase plans to be a major part of the reward package. Employees need to be allowed to share in the success of the organization. Third, the overall compensation package needs to be competitive, including all the pay and benefits. This means that the organization's base pay is competitive compared to the organizations with whom it competes for talent, and that it provides pay bonuses based on individual, team, and organizational performance. Fourth, the organization needs to provide recognition to employees for a job well done. Fifth, today's employees seek challenge. They expect exciting and challenging work assignments. Sixth, talented employees expect a work environment that is fun and enjoyable, often with recreational and exercise facilities, open park-like areas similar to a college campus, daycare, cafeterias and food courts, and lounges for relaxation. Seventh, best practice organizations have come to realize that the location of their facilities is important. Employees expect to work where they can enjoy a desirable lifestyle. Today's talented employees can work wherever they want to live. So employers have to locate where these employees want to live. Eighth, talented employees expect opportunity. They expect promotions and fun and challenging job assignments. Today's workforce is mobile, so to hold on to the best and brightest, employers must provide fun and challenging jobs and work environments and learning assignments and opportunities. Ninth, talented employees expect continual opportunities to learn something new. They want and need to continually learn, so employers need to provide full-time access to and support for learning opportunities and challenging and developmental job assignments. And 10th, high-performing employees expect to have fun. This is one of the most important keys to holding on to today's top employees. If employees don't enjoy working where they are, they will move on. Now that we have reviewed many of the best practice programs and initiatives that world-class human resource departments have developed in order to compete in today's global economy, let's review the lessons learned. First, make talent management a top priority. Without making talent the top priority, it will be impossible to carry out a strategy of innovation and creativity that is necessary to survive in today's global economy. Second, develop a comprehensive approach and commitment to attract and reward top talent. Third, make sure HR plays a strategic role in the management of the organization. The organization needs to identify the key roles for all players in global performance, including HR. Everyone, including HR, must develop ways to measure the outcomes being sought. Fourth, the organization must establish a clear statement of mission and values, ones that everyone endorses and has a passion for. And then everyone, particularly the people at the top, must live those values every day. Every employee must understand that everyone in the organization has the responsibility to make these values live. Fifth, HR should develop an action plan to accent the positive and minimize the negatives. Understand why people join your organization. Understand why they come to work every day. And understand why they stay and why some leave. Sixth, the organization needs to set a priority on creating a learning organization. An organization that understands that the key to competing in today's chaotic global environment is continual learning. Employees from each other, from experience, from customers, and from specialists. Seventh, the organization must invest in human capital. Programs of early identification of need and subsequent attraction strategies, new recruiting strategies, such as the use of the internet, and heavy investment in training programs and opportunities. It has been said that there are only 3 types of people in organizations. First, there are those who make things happen. Secondly, there are those who watch things happen. And lastly, there are those who ask, what just happened? Keep in mind that in today's fast-moving global economic and governmental environment, the only way to outrun the competition is through innovation. And that means having people who make things happen. What this implies is that the wise management of talent is not just a competitive advantage. It is a competitive necessity. Your ongoing challenge is to make sure your organization has the people who will make things happen. The key point we've made today is that the new world marketplace is driving organizations through continuous transformation in the struggle to remain competitive. As the primary guardians of the human capital of organizations, HR has to learn how to manage change. The first step in that process is to learn how to diagnose and analyze what is happening in the organization in terms of its human capital. This means that HR must be able to identify what type of data is needed, how to collect it, and how to turn that data into useful information. Organizations and human resource departments are great collectors of human, financial, and performance data. The best organizations and the best human resource management functions know how to use that data. After discovering what needs to be done, HR must then influence, persuade, and sell top management about its conclusions. All business is a constant negotiating process. Resources are limited, values differ, and goals and objectives sometimes are in conflict. The ability to persuade is essential for HR. As discussed here, HR must persuade top management that the firm must place its highest priority on the acquisition and retention of its human capital, its talent. And it must develop the programs and acquire the global networking capabilities that in fact do attract, acquire, develop, and retain the best possible talent. It is the only way the organization can thrive. And the third critical change management skill for HR is leadership. It isn't enough to show what is happening and convince management what needs to be done. HR has to get involved itself if it wants to see its recommendations carried out. Indeed, it will need to chair the task forces and manage the projects that will move the organization in the necessary direction for success in today's new marketplace. World-class HR departments will diagnose what needs to be done, develop the best practice programs to deal with those identified problems, convince management to invest in these programs, lead the change efforts themselves, and gather and interpret the data that will demonstrate their success. Such is the vision and such is the potential for results for today's world-class HR departments. All globally competitive organizations must develop world-class HR departments with direct access to the best international talent networks today. Our evolving multicultural and flexible work environments facilitated by e-technology, globalized markets, and new professionals with global competencies has now changed the traditional human resources management and development function in our organizations. As collaboration in virtual and networked environments becomes the predominant modality for work and for increasing productivity, an increasingly intense competition for the best global talent will require that we continuously innovate with new generation strategies and tactics for human resource attraction and retention. This will become the most important measure of global competitiveness for our organizations, communities, and nations in the years to come. Thank you.